everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video from the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. Today we're visiting the Nyangatom tribe. This is the second largest tribe after the Hammer tribe. They've got a population of over 40,000 and we're in one of their villages. They have many such settlements all over and we're watching the sunrise from here. And oh my god, it's beautiful. It's also so interesting to see that all of them have a different style of hut. Like, these huts are completely different from what we've seen before. And to me that's so interesting because all of them are in a similar area, but every tribe has their own way of living, their own traditions, their own, rituals, and their own huts. So let's go explore. So Fitsum was just telling us that the Nyangatom tribe has this very special kind of hut architecture, as you can see, and they take inspiration from weaver bird nests. And I've seen these bird nests all over Ethiopia as well while driving around, and it looks kind of exactly like that. And it's so beautiful to see that they've taken inspiration from a bird's nest and made something exactly like that, which is why it's so sturdy. It's also one of the strongest huts because it's taken inspiration from nature itself. And one very cool thing is that they also have storage huts like these, which are kind of on stilts here. Like, you can see that this is above the ground, and that's because animals can't get in then, and this is where they store their things. And I think that's genius. So that is one of the base structures of how this kind of house starts, and then it becomes this. So they slowly build it. They put different leaves and twigs around it, then comes the hay, and then the entire structure becomes kind of like this, and then it becomes that. How heavy is this?
Quite heavy.
20
kgs? 20
kgs, yeah.
I would say even more, maybe like 20, 30.
Maybe 25.
Oh my god. How? So everybody in the Nyangatom tribe has a lot of necklaces. Almost 3 to 4 kgs in necklaces is what they wear. And necklaces also depict whether they're married or unmarried. So for example, obviously this little girl here, she's not married. But the ones that are, they have ceramic necklaces that they wear. And that's so interesting that in every culture, there's always a way to tell if you're married or not married. Even over here in the tribes, they do still care to let people know that yes, I'm married. Similar to how we wear rings, they wear necklaces. So what a general house would look like. This is the house over here, and this is here the patio where they keep their water, put their fire, chill together, eat. That's so cool. It's so interesting to see that right now all the women are basically in the huts or outside in the patio, and they're making coffee. Just like every single culture in the world, like in the morning we need our little juice to wake up, right? Yes. And here also they love their coffee. So everybody is sitting outside, all the men are sitting outside waiting for their coffee. The women are bringing them out. And that's how they wake up as well, just like everybody in the world. Okay, now we're gonna watch the professional do it. Julian is attempting to play their game. Okay, Fitsum, your chance now.
Hi.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So things that they find around, and they take it.
Sound. Yeah.
A jewelry and also a sound. When they dance up and down, it makes the noise that for the rhythm. So this is from the bullet, for instance.
Which is from the bullet?
You see, this is a bullet.
Oh, it's a bullet.
Yes.
A bullet?
Yeah.
Oh,
This yeah. These are all bottle cups. Good.
Yeah, is it too hot?
Good.
Okay, so I'm also trying some of the morning coffee. Tastes like tastes like coffee. Mata.
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 Wah itu gak. Yoi, wah yang anak, gak kena gitu nah.
Salam no. Okay, so now it's official. She's given me her necklace and she said that I should become the second wife of her husband and she's going to take care of me like a mom. And she gave me this necklace. I didn't ask for it, but I can say Joka. Joka.
Ayo.
That means good, right? Akyo. Good.
Salam
no. Who are your baby? He's the smallest.
Yeah. She says she have 10 kids. 10. This is like 10.
What's her name? You know?
Semua mana ya?
Yang mana pedeng kau ini tena bakal makaya.
Nabding.
Yang mana
Our name is Nabding.
Nabdi.
Nabding.
Napeding.
Napding. Aki.
Dia kurang Aki.
Aki.
Ya kau mana?
Aki.
Acara nekang.
Jul.
What is she?
My second.
My second wife.
Yes. My husband is second wife.
Acara nekang.
Ataranika.
Berai kopang.
You could be my, or you will be my child wife. Yeah.
Aki.
Aki.
Yeah.
Acara nekang.
So we've driven a short distance and have come to a new village to meet the Kara tribe now. They're closely related to the Nyangatom tribe, but still very, very different. However, this tribe has around 2,000 people left now, and slowly it's becoming smaller and smaller. So who knows, in a few years, this tribe may not be here anymore. Which is really sad because I would love to see these traditions go on forever, but it's also how life goes. But yeah, we're going to meet some of them. Like I said, they're very closely related to the Nyangatom tribe, so they also have the necklaces. But one of the main things that Kara tribe stands out for is their face painting. That's how they express their idea of beauty, is like they paint their faces with clay, with chalk, and have beautiful designs. Of course the women do, and that is their idea and their perception of beauty. So let's go meet some of them. Okay, so he was just telling me that it's the women, of course, paint their faces, but the men all body parts.
Yeah.
So their chest and everything over here.
Yeah.
What do they use to paint?
That's a clay.
Clay?
Yeah, it's
okay, clay. And where do they get the clay
They
from?
get it far away from that mountain. It's far away from there. There are so many different colors over there.
Okay.
Red, whites, and then the yellow one.
Red, white, yellow clay.
Yeah, mostly they're using the whites.
Okay, they're using the white. Do they use the white because that's the easiest to find?
Yeah.
Okay.
They get for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they mix it with the water.
Uh-huh.
And it's too easy to wash.
Ah,
yeah.
easy
And
to
then
wash.
the red one is for the hairstyle. Seems like hammer tribe.
Yeah, like
but
hammer tribe.
there's a little difference. And they're using like for hairstyle, they mix it with the butter or with the oil. And they do it like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, very interesting. Do they have a huge advantage because they live so close to the river?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because they can grow their crops there. They can get their cattle drink from the water. And
So would it also mean that in a way that they're also like the tribe has, like in their definition of rich, they're one of the richest tribes here in this area?
yes. In their terms, they are the highest of the.
Yeah, because
yes.
they must be having more cattle, more crops, everything, because they live close to
Yes,
the river.
it's such a nice view.
Yeah, nice view. I don't know. I feel like the view is something that only we care about because we don't see it so often. For them, it must be like,
It's,
yeah,
it's day to day.
Yeah, day
just-
to day. It's just a river. Yeah. And there you can see some men chilling, drinking sorghum beer, which is basically a crop over here that they use. And then they mix it with hot water and make beer out of it. Doing some hard work. So the women here are the ones who only the women here do the grinding. So I thought, why not try my hand at it. And that's why they all have like really strong arms. Like everything I do at the gym, they do by doing this. Yeah?
In Omo Valley tribe, here is like so many women is like hard working. She will like grinding the sorghum. After that, she wanna go to the beach water, and then later she wanna go to after again collect the firewood, and then later she will be like cooking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's too hard working. But the men will be they go to with the cows. They go fill with the cows with the goats. After that, they sleep. They take rest.
Yeah.
They take rest.
And the women are the ones who are
and
stronger.
they go to farming. Yeah.
They go farming.
Farming.
But the women are the ones who are doing all the hard
working. And then here is like no right for women here. Not right. Jump over the bullets, he must be cut the ear, which seems like a ring. Yeah.
So Lito was just telling me that in his tribe as well, men usually marry more than one woman.
More than two, more than three.
Three, more than two or three. And how does it go? Like, what's the process?
The process is like for one man, for one woman, you pay 127 gods there.
Damn.
Yeah.
For one woman, you pay, the man has to pay dowry, 127
gods. Yeah, mostly. And then you have to like, the first one is a responsibility for your family. The second, third, you have to pay for yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is, and every woman...
And here is like there is a difference, which is like married men and unmarried men. Like I did already. You see my ear? Yeah, I did already. That one seems like a ring.
So is that like you're married?
I did. Yeah.
So if you're married, you have a cut ear. And if you're unmarried, then you don't have it.
No.
Oh,
and
so that's the symbol to show that you're married. And the women wear?
The women will be like two bracelets in the right arm.
Okay, that means they're married.
Married, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So every different tribe has a different way of saying if they're married or unmarried.
Yeah.
And in the Kara tribe, it's the men. For the men, they cut a little bit of the ear, and the women wear two bracelets.
Yeah.
Very interesting. The small baby is drinking the local beer. So this gun is now completely empty, but earlier they used to go hunting with this. And now this gun costs how much?
8.
8 cow.
Yeah,
8 cows. So some of the girls here are asking us to get our faces painted just like them, so that we too can look pretty. So usually I don't wear too much makeup. But today, let's let the Kara tribe do my makeup. This is made out of clay, right? Like everything? Charcoal and clay. Does she like the design? Do you think I look pretty now? Can you ask her?
Bashiko.
Yeah? Bashiko? Very elaborate. So this is the final result of the makeup done by the Kara tribe on me. This is what they usually do on their own faces as well in different designs. So I thought, why not try my hand at also painting her face, since she hadn't painted hers yet. So, and she's agreed. So let's experiment. Good or no? Good. Good? Really? I think it's good. I think I've done a good job. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for showing us.
Okay.
Bye.
See you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. So the last and final tribe that we're meeting on our trip here in the Omo Valley is the Bana tribe. They are from a village actually very close to the Jinka city, and as you can see behind me, they walk on stilts. Not all the time, of course, but the boys, when they're chasing their cattle and they need to have a look from the top, it's like basically a drone shot, and they walk on stilts all the time, and it's crazy how they're able to do this. It's unimaginable to me because they walk really fast on the stilts, and they can also play football while walking on the stilts. Fitsim, tell me, why do the Bana tribe, how are they able to walk on stilts, and why do they do it?
So mostly because this area is very forested area, they have to raise up to look at where the cattle are. And that's the first thing. But as young boys, they also, this is something they are play around while they are looking for after their cattle.
So something for fun and sometimes for work.
To work.
But how, like, I can see one boy here and he's so small.
Yes.
So what is the usual age when they start learning? Do you know?
As young as 3 years old. So he started when he was very young. So he started with a very low stick, and as they grow up, they challenge themselves with
higher and higher.
Yes.
Damn. Do you know what's like have you seen like the tallest stick that someone has been on?
Probably yes. It could go around 3 meters, 4 meters.
3-4 meters?
Yes.
That's insane. I can't believe it. Like, this is some unique skill that they've acquired as a tribe, and now, I mean, by the end of the day, it kind of shows that if you practice something and everybody in your culture is doing it, you'll also get good at it.
That's true. Yes.
That's so good. Yeah. So cool. Okay, so the stilts have been abandoned because the real football game has now begun. Oh my god! No, that's it. Okay, after having tried that myself for 2 minutes, I can say that that's really tough, and honestly it feels very unnatural to walk on it because we're used to walking on our 2 legs and they're used to walking on stilts. My heartbeat is still racing. Now a game of football with the Bana tribe. And with that, this is the end of the series in the Omo Valley. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing different tribes from around the world, seeing how they lead their lives, how even though we think we're like the most developed society we are developing at a fast pace with tech and everything, you can also see how people can live very happily in a very different environment with different cultures. Even though they have the option to leave, a lot of them want to stay rooted in their culture. And it's just so crazy to see how we're so different, yet all our rituals are still similar. Like, they're stripped down from all the technology and all the fancy things, all the extra things that we have in our modern day world, and it's the bare, raw minimum that they live with over here. And it's absolutely wild to see that. So much to learn and so much to feel grateful for. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. So please subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you don't miss a single video from me. Goodbye, sending you lots of love and sunshine.